This video is about writing expressions. These are the four basic math operations. Whenever you're writing an expression or reading a word problem with math words in it, a lot of times you won't just see the word add, subtract, multiply, or divide. You'll see other words. Okay. Some of the words that can be used instead of add but still mean to add are plus, which is pretty basic, increased by, more than, and a pretty common one in math books and worksheets, but not so common in regular English language, is sum. Sum means to add things up. There are probably a lot more words than this that also mean add, but this is a pretty basic list. Okay, for subtract, you could have words like minus, decreased by, less than, and of course the big one that you'll always see used in math problems is difference. Okay, if you read the difference in these two things, then that's telling you to subtract. Alright, multiply, some other words that you can use instead of just saying multiply is times, twice, which is specific to multiplying by 2. Okay, that's not multiplying by anything. Okay. A kind of a special case one is squared or cubed. Those are, of course, exponents, but exponents are just multiplication problems. If I say something squared, I mean to multiply that number by itself. Okay, and then the one you'll hear a lot for math problems is product. Okay, this is the one that you hear all the time in math problems, tests, quizzes, textbooks, that you don't necessarily hear in the normal English language. Okay, and then divide. Divide could be to cut in half. That's kind of like squared, that's very specific, or like twice, it's very specific to divide by 2. Okay, the snooty math word that you'll always hear is quotient. With an E here, quotient. Okay, again, that's the math word that you hear all the time, but it's not really used very commonly in the English language. Alright, here are some examples. What we're going to do in these examples is write, these are all written in English. We're going to take this English and interpret into math symbols. So the first one says 2 times a number. So 2 times would be multiply. So 2 times a number, and a number could be any number, so pick a variable. So that's 2x. Number 2, 4 more than a number. More than means to add. So 4 more than, so that's adding a number. And a number is just any variable that you choose. So 4 plus x, 4 plus y, 4 plus n, whatever variable you choose. And the quotient. Quotient means to divide. The quotient of x and 9. So you're going to take x and divide by 9. Okay? Or x divide by 9. Okay? You'll see us write it this way. Okay, that's the way that we prefer it. You can also work the other direction. These are already written in math, and now you need to write them in English words. Since you are picking, this is multiplication, so you can use any of those words on the multiplying column of that list. You can simply say 10 times a number. You do not have to use product or any of the other snooty terms unless you want to. Okay? This is subtracting. So you can simply say a number minus 18. You don't have to use difference or decreased by or any of those. You can if you want to, but since you're choosing the English words to use, you can use the simple ones that are easy to remember. This is a fraction, but remember we talked about this in class. A fraction is simply a division problem. So this is a number for a number divided by 16. Again, you do not have to use the word quotient. If you get to pick the words, then pick the ones that make sense to you. Alright, here's some U-tries. Go ahead and pause the video and try these, and then when you're done, hit play and check your answers. Number 1, a number less than 5 times m. So a number less, this means to subtract 8 from something. So we're going to have 8 less than, so that's minus. 5 times a number, or 5 times m, means 5m. 5m minus 8. Subtract 2 from 9 times m. So 9 times m, and then subtract 2 from it. Subtract 3 from 6 times h. So 6 times h, and then subtract 3 from it. These subtraction ones can be hard to put them in the correct order. Okay, you have to be very careful about how you read those. G squared, so G squared, plus the product, so plus, product means multiply, the product of 2 and s plus 7. G squared plus the product of 2s plus 7. The sum of q and 8, so sum means add, that's what this means. So q, make sure that looks like a q, plus 8. Number 6, this is supposed to be twice q, it's kind of cut off there. Twice means to multiply by 2, and q is q. These are some other U-tries, so again, you can pause the video when you're done trying them, hit play, and see if you got them right. Alright, the way that I read this out loud, a plus 9, that's pretty much how I'm going to write it. A number plus 9. You could have used a bunch of those other words from the adding column, but I'm simple. I like to use the simple words. 5n, so 5 times a number. This is subtraction, so minus a number minus 14. Again, you don't have to use the hard words, just pick a word from that column. This dot means multiply, so we have a number times 6. This is an exponent, so this is a number, q is a number, and that exponent is a squared. Number 12 is kind of cut off, but that should have been a divided by 8. So that's exactly the way I read it, is exactly how I'm going to write it. A number divided by 8.